Sakshi, let's start.
Yeah. So let's start the session. Good evening, everyone. We are delighted to have decided to join us on behalf of myself and all the team. We would like to extend a warmest welcome. So let's start the session for today. I would like to call upon Riya Pawar, the lead of Policy Advocacy and Research team, to kindly present the welcome address. Over to you, Riya.
Yes, thank you so much, Sakshi. So, good evening, one and all present here. I would like to welcome you all to this interactive session on policy perspective through policy perspective. So, I start by telling more about the organization. But before that, let us welcome our guest of honor for today, Ms.Kanak. And yeah, so Sarkari School under the aegis of WeCitizens Foundation is an initiative that seeks to bridge the distance between government schools and Indian society. So there exists today a shadow of stereotypes around Sarkari schools and their impact. A poor narrative that overlooks their successes and solely focuses on their inadequacy. Sarkari school aims to shift this narrative by equipping readers with facts of resounding hope and success. It aspires to begin a dialogue between educators, policymakers, Sarkari school students, and teachers, amalgamating all ideas and efforts into feasible solutions towards a social good. With a multitude of projects under our wing, like Project Korea, Project Advocacy, Project Vedna, we aim to uplift government schools. And we are sure that this session will greatly advance with this aim. And we are looking forward to learning from you today, Priya ma'am. So I hope this discussion inspires all of our viewers and helps us to learn, grow, and bring a change. Thank you very much, everyone. Over to the host.
Thank you, Riya. To let us know more about Sarkari School, I would like to call upon Arushi. She is an HR head of Sarkari School and co-head of the present Policy Advocacy and Research team. Over to you, Arushi.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to once again welcome our guest speaker from the behalf of Sarkari School and especially Policy Advocacy and Research team. Our team has always believed in learning and developing through interaction and interacting with personalities like you, ma'am. So thus, in the same spectrum, the Policy Advocacy and Research team engages in various conferences. Recently, we engaged in National Youth Conference, G20 Conference, Student 20 Conference, etc. We conduct numerous interviews, workshops, and of course, our weekly interactive sessions like Policy Manthans. The primary work of the team involves the engagement in producing quality research papers and articles around education and educational institutions. The team works to highlight the gravity of policy planning in all the sphere of development, especially focusing on education of government schools and their schooling patterns. We achieve this through rigorous and thorough researches and a lot of brainstorming activities. And thus, this session will definitely prove to be an emanating fuel and power charge for upcoming projects of ours. We all are really looking forward to get an insightful policy perspective from you, ma'am, today. Over to the host.
Thank you, Arushi, to let us know more about Policy Advocacy and Research team. So I would like to proceed further. I would like to call upon Marina. She's an outreach coordinator of Policy Advocacy and Research team intern to briefly talk about the event and its objective. Over to you, Marina.
Thank you, Sakshi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for coming, Abhishek sir, and one and all that's present here. As we all know, and as Rishi rightly mentioned, we are an organization that tries to change the narrative that Indian public schools are attached with these days. And so to understand where we lack and what contributes to the present situation of Indian public schools and how to bring a positive change in the education sector, it requires extensive research on the subject. And it is of utmost importance for us to be well versed with researching and to be able to effectively contribute to the initiative and to the sector. So we have a lot of interns, volunteers, and participants present here who are aspiring research scholars. And I believe this session will give them a firm grasp over researching and its scope. So through this event, we intend to spread more awareness on the subject of education and researching its scope, and importantly, to help our participants upgrade their skills in researching. So we will try to understand Kanak ma'am's experience as a researcher all these years and what led her to pursue her doctoral research on the topic education in particular, and what challenges that researchers face in India, and how to write and publish papers without spending a large amount on the same, and what are the scopes in the field of researching. So I'm very excited to hear from Kanak ma'am. I'm certain that this is going to be a very, very fruitful and enlightening session for all of us. So with that, I invite Sakshi to introduce our guest to the audience. Sakshi, over to you.
Thank you, Marina. Good evening, everyone. I am Sakshi Paradambar. I am an intern in Policy, Advocacy and Research team. With immense joy, I would like to share the good news of having Kanak Priya ma'am on a platform. She is actually currently pursuing her doctoral research on topic inclusive education, role of state and civil society, while working as an educator in Bihar. She is also working as an assistant professor in Patna University. Kanak ma'am is very well versed with reverse writing and colloquia. She has been actively speaking at international and national conference in education. She has also participated in Young Scientist Conference as a delegate at Indian International Science Festival in 2018. She has been selected as a delegate at Bali Asia International Model Unit. Nations, the world's future is in your hands. At Nusa Dua, Bali, Indonesia, she is also a very brilliant speaker. She has been awarded the title of Best Speaker at Hindu Pavkara in 2014. She has been published several research papers in other international and national UGC-CARE-listed journals. She has also been contributing to fields of education, inspiring young minds for past several years. I'm sure that a conversation with Kanak ma'am can redefine a perception towards researching, and by the end of session, we are left with define purpose and strategy for researching. I'm now with a great pleasure invite Kanak ma'am to kindly begin the session. So ma'am, can you please tell us more about how you started your career?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for the humble gesture. Once again, I wish everybody a very good evening, all the young, intellectual, bright minds, the scientists, upcoming scientists over here. So my work has basically been on education. And for me, education is not a privilege. I feel that it is a basic right. It is the dire need that each and every child has. And literally, I have seen the sad plight of the people around me. And so I decided to work for their cause, to uplift them for their scenario. And I believe that this is the duty of every academic professionals everywhere, to improvise the quality of education. And it is the sole purpose of my profession also. As you said, I'm a lecturer, I'm an assistant professor, I'm an educator. So just I delved deeper into the subject and made it the sole purpose of my life, from my career to my life. So my introspection basically made me pursue research in education. And my goal has always been to make a positive impact on the lives of children. I feel every day, I feel motivated to give an opportunity to have an impact. It's about every day interacting with those young minds and inspiring people to be the best version of themselves, whatever it is. So I feel education for me is everything. And as I have learned, even I have also evolved myself into a better version of me. So this could be the best career, in fact, anybody could choose. And researcher, being a researcher is like scaling up effective education policies or programs in everyone's interest. In fact, if we ask on this platform, is there anyone who would argue that education should not improve? Anyone on this platform would say no. I guess no, obviously no. So it comes from within. Everybody wants that education of our country should improve, as we know that they also contribute to the human capital of the nation. It's not only a child who gets enlightened, who gets educated. In long term, he also encourages and contributes to the human capital of the nation. So in fact, I would also like to know, you guys to tell you that how you should research, how you should select your research topic. Everybody over here is a researcher, I guess. Yes.
Research aspirants, ma'am.
Research aspirants.
We are still bachelors.
Yes,
we are still bachelors and masters.
And yes, ma'am.
So, you know, the plight that I came across, that inspired me, that instilled me to go for education. And I think you should also, have something in your mind. If you want to choose a research topic, how you should take up a research topic, this should be the first thing that you guys need to know. Should I focus on that a bit? I would like you guys to know. Since I know that how I have decided to take up my topic, that has been education. I need you guys to decide how to choose a research topic, right? That would be quite inquisitive for you also. So, first of all, you guys need to do some brainstorming. You understand brainstorming?
Yes, ma'am.
The easiest step is the brainstorming session to see that what topic is best for you, what topic interests you. And you have also to look out of your comfort zone. What interests you is very good. That is well and good. But what look out of your comfort zone, then you can explore the broad horizons of the things that are happening, around you. That could create a creative burst inside you. And you could do one thing, that you can make a long list of the possible choices and then begin the selection. Choose the topic that you feel passionate about to research. First of all, you'll get a broader perspective, then again narrow it down, then again concise it, then again frame the research question. I would like to cite an example. For example, I hope people are there from art stream also, right? Art stream people.
Yes, ma'am.
We
We are from economics, we are from history, political science.
I'll give the example accordingly. For example, if we talk about women's health, let us, if I would have had a blackboard, I would have explained it. But let's imagine a broader perspective. Let it be women's health. Let's narrow it down a bit. Let it be women and cancer. Then again, let's narrow it. Let's focus it. Let it be women smokers and breast cancer. Okay, understand my point. The broader topic is women's health. We are narrowing it down to women and cancer. Then again, we are focusing it. We are again narrowing it down to women smokers and breast cancer. Now, what would be the research question for this? Is there a connection between cigarette smoking and breast cancer risk? Right?
Yeah.
My point. First, we'll take a broader perspective. Then again, we'll take a narrower perspective. Then again, we'll focus it down. And then we can formulate our research question. Okay. Let me give you one more example. Like computer games. Let it be the broader perspective, computer games. Let's narrow it down. Computer game violence. Okay. Again, let's narrow it down. Computer game violence and children. Now, what could be the research question? How does violence in computer games affect children? So this is the step, how you choose your research topic. The idea is to get your broader idea and then extract a particular element of that subject. Then you have to take up that aspect, and then again, you have to make it more specific. Research, what is research? We take up a small topic and we do research on that. And how do you choose that small topic? You take up a broader perspective, narrow it down, then again, focus it down. Then again, you can formulate a research question and ultimately decide which topic you should take up. And for deciding that, you need a lot of secondary sources. that are available on your topic of interest, like magazines, articles, books, and many websites that might be related to the topic. So conduct a literature review to determine what is known and again what is unknown, and take out that research gap. Again, do research on that topic. One more thing could be here that you could actually carefully look at the recommendation section. The professors who write great literatures look at the recommendation for future research and the limitation section of the dissertations and the reviewed articles that are published in the scholarly journals. That could give you a very impactful view that what topic you might choose for your research. So basically, create an outline, what you have to do, and try to keep your research topic original. If the work has already been done on that topic, it's no use of doing again research. So it should be something new, something innovative, something inventive, something original, and it should pertain to the present time also. That means it should be recent also. It should be timely. It should suit your specific interests, and of course, ignite your curiosity for research. It's like now when we develop interest in something, we do it voluntarily, right? No pressure, voluntarily, out of curiosity, we want to discover, delve deeper and deeper. So try to choose your research topic that interests you. And one thing I would like to also add up, that while deciding your research topic, take a few questions in your mind and try to answer them. What would be the question? The question that we used to study in our like primary section, while we were in primary section, like why, who, what, where, and when. Why am I doing this research? Why did I choose this topic? What interests me about it? Do you have any opinion about the issues that are involved? So why? That Q needs to be addressed while you are looking forward for research. Then again, what I said, who, kaun, right? Who are the sources of information on this topic? Who might publish information about it? Who is affected by the topic? Do you know the organizations or institutions that are connected with the topic? Kaun hai wo log, right? Again, what? Kya? What are the important questions about this topic? Is there an ongoing debate regarding this topic? Is there a wide range of subjects or viewpoints that could be considered? So that what needs to be addressed? Again, when? When is your topic important? Is it relevant today also? Is it a current issue or an issue from the past? And do you want to compare the subject matter to different eras? So many of my colleagues, for example, they are talking on coalition government or any of the forms of the government, anything. So if they are talking about freedom struggle, anything, or you could say politics. They're talking about, they are sketching the politics. From when? From 2010 till date. I'm working on RT. From when? 2009 till now. So all these things need to be addressed. What are the things that need to be addressed? Why, who, when, what, where. These are the small terminologies that are very crucial, and they play a pivotal role in your research. And the most important thing is you should be motivated throughout the research journey, because it is a quite hectic task. It requires your diligence, your dedication, and above all, that excitement within you, that curiosity, that inquisitiveness, that should always be on. I think it would be quite clear that how you could decide your research topic. Am I clear, or I need to add up a few points more? You have understood?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It's very clear, but I had a question regarding one point you made. You
Yeah.
said the research topic should be original. It should not be done before. Uh, this makes sense, but what about the data? What if the data is not available? What if I have to go to some, rural place, some backward area where the safety is not guaranteed? I am very much interested in a particular topic, but the data is not available at all. But
See,
as a master's student, what can I do?
why I said that research should be original, because I want you to contribute to the, if you are not doing the original work, then you might contribute to the knowledge that is already existing. You might contribute to the existing knowledge. But if your research is original, you could provide a new database, a new theory, new generalization, conclusions for the topic that requires attention, that requires the attention of the world, that needs to be addressed. And that would be something, out of the box. There are plenty of literatures, plenty of things going around the world. Why not to take up something new? That is my personal choice and my personal suggestion. Although it all depends upon you, what kind of topic you want to choose. And yeah, you said that how should I go? See, you understand primary data
Yes,
and
ma'am.
secondary data. The
Yes,
primary data is one that we collect ourselves, right? And the
yes.
secondary data, that is already the available journals, literatures, books, magazines that are there on that particular topic. My personal suggestion would be to, of course, rely on the secondary data. Take the secondary data, be which one? That should be the government database, the census data.
Yes,
On the
sir, please.
they are authentic, they are reliable. Rely on that and do primary research. That would, make your research more authentic. It would make your research out of the box. You could claim that you have discovered this thing. And this would not only be beneficial for you as a researcher, but it should also contribute for the progress of the nation. If you're addressing some of the causes that is running around the world, so this would be quite helpful. So my personal suggestion would be, do both things, consider both the things. Of course, there are a lot of challenges that come in our way while doing research, but we need to overcome those challenges. We need to stay strong, right? So many people are doing researches. Imagine there are people who come from US, you come from UK and do research in India, in a small village in India. I have literally seen people, right? And I have literally seen such people also, who are remaining in India, who are remaining in Bihar, who are remaining in any of the district of Bihar, and they are doing research on USA, and they haven't ever visited also USA. Right. So both the aspects are there, but you only tell me whose research would be more authentic, whose research would be more recognized.
Who is going the extra mile?
Exactly. If you want to do something, if you want to make yourself, if you want to stand out different, you need to also work out differently, right?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Let's take up the next question.
Hello, Miss. I had a question.
Yeah, please.
Do you suggest that we include our opinions in the research we're doing? Now, suppose I'm doing a research on, say, women's health. So do you suggest that I give my opinion in that research paper, or would it be too biased to do that, or I shouldn't do those things? Or
See, initially you need to formulate the hypothesis for a research, right?
Yeah.
And after doing the research, applying the research methodology, data collection, the surveys, after doing all the studies, finally you come to data analysis. Okay. And because of the data analysis, that biasness in your research is not at all there. That innovations, that this might be the possibility, they are all cleared with the data analysis. With the data analysis, you come to a conclusion. Okay, to a generalized conclusion, and that you're saying that, may I give my opinion? Then in the recommendation section, right? In the recommendation section, after finishing your research, you can obviously give your opinion as a researcher. So that these are my findings and these are my recommendations about the topic.
Oh, perfect. Yes, Miss. Thank you. Yeah.
Most welcome. Yes, let's take up next question.
Yes, ma'am. Can I go? I'll go next. Yeah. So, from your research over the years in education, uh, I just wanted to know that, like, when I initially started, I joined Sarkari school and started doing research related to education. I was like, I was like really doubtful about its scope. Like, we just had one aspect of education and we studied it in a very sketchy manner. But like as I got more involved with the team, I just came to know that from how many different angles we can study a particular subject. So my question was like, given your exposure to research, you might have studied it from many different angles. So like what aspect of schools is most important? Do you think that we need to focus on currently?
Please pardon, focus on?
What aspect of government schooling and schooling in general is you think most important and like we need to focus on right now?
Okay. You're talking about the challenges that are coming in our way, right?
Yeah.
See, government schools, obviously, I have also worked on government school. There has been a lot of challenges. The first and foremost is the quality issue. The quality of education that is being imparted in the government school. That is quite dismissal, quite disheartening. Equity along with quality should be maintained. If we want education to be of good, if we want that RT should actually be implemented, and if we want the optimum results from the RT, from the provisions, any of the schemes of the government, then quality should be maintained. Equity along with quality, that should be maintained. Then again, what I feel is like in public schools, in government schools, there is a learning crisis. And in fact, I should better call it an education crisis. Because what happens is that if you interact with the students of second standard, of third standard, of any of the standard of, I'm talking particularly about the RTE section, 6 to 14 years of age group, they are from class 1 to 8. If you talk to a second standard student and you expect him to deliver a line in English, or to do a simple mathematics, to do a simple subtraction, to do a simple addition, then again, you will be disheartened, because a simple subtraction like 45 minus 25, that also 3/4 of the people from of course, fourth standard are not able to do. And if you expect the same subtraction to be done by children in the 5th grade, again, few of the handful of students, they are not able to do. If you talk about a small transaction, be it a grocery shopping or traveling in bus, and do that subtraction, what is the remaining amount? This much I have taken. I have literally talked like this much I have given you, this much I have taken. Ab kitna bacha aapke paas? They're not able to count that. And I was so perturbed seeing that plight of the students of government schools, particularly in Bihar. That is very dismissal. The picture is quite, threatening. So that is there. Dropouts is there. Then again, the quality pertaining to the quality of education, in fact, teachers. I myself is in the same profession, but I would literally like to recommend that teachers should be of good quality. They should be well educated. Then only they'll be able to impart good education to the upcoming generation. It's not like you've taken a government job and only you have to sit. There's nothing as such. You have to contribute to the nation. Like you're getting paid for that work. And so you need to do that work. It should come from within. Obviously, your conscience should tell you that. I have literally, the picture is quite dismissal. But again, I'm sharing that I've seen ladies, they are literally weaving those sweaters during winters, having sunbath during the winters, sitting outside the veranda of the school and dropping the lecture. So these things are quite perturbing, and these things should not happen. These are degrading our schooling system. So these things need to be addressed if we are talking about improvisation of education. So these things need to be addressed. I have come across many factors, and I was literally very disheartened, seeing the sad plight of these things. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very insightful.
Yeah, Riddhi, you can go the next.
Good evening, ma'am. So,
Yeah,
ma'am, I really wanted to ask you this question.
please.
Like most of us rely on secondary data research, and even in our projects, it is relied on secondary data. So, what are some ways that you could suggest where we could bring some sort of novelty and some sort of, um, a very good quality paper or good quality research, despite of just depending on secondary data, and if there is no primary data aspect in any of the research? So, how would we bring some
Your
kind of
credibility through secondary data, right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, secondary data is obviously readily available. Okay. After the expense of electronic media and the internet availability of secondary data, it has become quite easier. And new sources are also there, and old sources are also there. And I would suggest that old sources should be avoided as new technology and researchers bring new facts into light. But if you talk about old sources, books, they are the secondary sources, and they are one of the most authentic sources of secondary data. Then again, journals and periodicals are becoming more important as far as data collection is concerned. There is a reason. The reason is that journals provide you updated information, which at times books cannot provide. You must have also come across these things, and journals give you information on the very specific topic on which you are researching, rather than talking about in more general terms. You see a lot of research papers of a lot of professors that are uploaded on the website. You must be, since you all are into these streams, you must be available of Shodh Ganga, Inflibnet, JSTOR, EPW. These are the portals where you can get plenty of rich literatures that might be quite relevant when you're taking up any research topic. Then again, if you talk about magazines and newspapers, so I can say that magazines are also effective, but not very reliable. Newspapers, on the other hand, are more reliable. And in some cases, the information can only be obtained from newspapers, as it is in case of political studies, I guess so. So that is quite reliable. And you're talking about secondary data. So published electronic sources. Since internet is becoming more advanced, fast, and reachable to the masses, it has been seen that much information that is not available on the print media could be easily available on the internet. In past, the credibility of internet was questionable, but seeing the present scenario, we also know that internet is reliable. So journals, books are seldom published in the internet, but these online portals, they are relevant. These electronic sources, they are reliable. And since you're talking about secondary sources, so I have to mention the government records that he mentioned, just answered in the previous questions also, that government records are very important for marketing, be it for management, for humanities, for social science research. Government rely on government records. Then again, census data, the population statistics, the health records, the educational institutional records. In fact, and you talk about public sector data, then NGO survey data, and other private company records also. So these things you could rely easily when you're talking about secondary data. I hope answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So Akansha, you can go next.
Hello, ma'am. I am a PhD student,
Okay.
and when I am deciding the scope of my research, it is very difficult for me to, get down to it. So, can you suggest what should be the factors which we should consider when we are deciding the scope of our research? Because that is something which is very difficult for me, because only in that direction then the research is going to go. So, please, can you
Yeah, sure.
Enlighten us with that.
Taking up research, you need to be very patient. You need to be very, very patient, very dedicated, not something you get like like easily you get result. You need to be very patient about it. And again, if you're talking about the scope of the research or scope of researcher, you could be a scientist in a government, do R&D, research and development things like in DRDO, in Homi Bhabha, in CSIR labs, etc. And you could be a prominent professor in the IITs, in the NITs, in the BITS. And in fact, you can also open your own R&D lab and start researching about your ideas for the development of the society. And as a researcher, you don't need to follow anyone's rules and regulations and instructions. You are your own boss. You bring up that original ideas of your own. So this thing R&D is really good. You could opt for that. And you can also easily get funds from the government of India and many organizations like BIRAC is there, DRDO is there, AERB is there, CSIR is there, and many industries are there that are affiliated with it. And let me also just narrow down and take a few disciplines if you're talking as a researcher, that what is the scope of researcher, since I got to know that you guys are from different platforms, economics, political science, anthropology, everything. So let me cite some examples of different streams also. See, if you are an economist, you study about societies and market distribute resources. So they could be employed in investment banks, investment houses, government agencies, non-profit groups, think tanks, large corporations, etc. Economists have different scopes, have much scope. If you talk about anthropologists, what do anthropologists do? They study the development and behavior of human beings throughout the world, across ages. They try to understand humanity better. They examine the biological, linguistic, socio-cultural, archaeological traditions. So they may work as researchers and educators with colleges, universities, as well as museums. Okay, so there is plenty of scope of this also. If you talk about political science, what is the scope of a political scientist, of a researcher in political science? They could be the government affairs director. They could readily supervise and direct public relations team, manage policies related to the local, the state, and the central government matters. That is the government affairs director. Lot of scope is there of political science. First and foremost, obviously, if you are not into research and you are pursuing political science, you could definitely opt for UPSC, the civil services. Apart from that, you could go for government affairs directors. You could be a political consultant. Political consultants have extensive knowledge about the political process. And their primary objective is to devise effective political strategies and campaigns for electoral candidates to influence voters and gain support from the majority. They could also be public relations specialists. Public relations specialists, what do? They have the responsibility for maintaining and improving the reputation of a company or any organization. They could be political scientists, focus on the study of origin, development of political systems around the world. You must have seen nowadays different political parties are also hiring political scientists and political analysts. If you are aware of the setup right now, I have come across people who are hiring, I have come across such parties who are hiring political scientists, political analysts. Have you heard of Pushpam Priya from Bihar? Okay.
No, ma'am, I have heard about Prashant Kishore. He is also political analyst.
there's a pluralist party in Bihar. They are actively taking up political analysts, political scientists, and also there is a scope of a researcher in political science in that field also. Therefore, I point that out. So then there could be intelligence analysts. Intelligence analysts are employed by high-level government intelligence agencies like Central Bureau of Investigation, Department of Criminal Intelligence, Directorate of Military Intelligence, Defense Intelligence Agency, Indian Political Intelligence Office, and National Investigation Agency, to name a few. So there is plenty of scope. Then again, policy analyst. They are also primarily responsible for adjusting and implementing the new policies, laws, and regulations. And there are a lot of NGOs who are hiring them, of course, political analysts also. So if we talk about scope of a researcher in different fields, if you are pursuing your research, contributing to the knowledge, that is well and good. And God forbid, if you don't want to opt for research, and even if you want to opt for research, there are plenty of scopes as discussed in different fields, different perspectives. Hope you have understood.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, it was very insightful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Aman, you can go next.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. I want to ask that. So we've seen that research papers are usually jargonistic, complex, and really difficult to decipher. And people who are not so formally intellectually sound, so they find it difficult to access it.
Financially sound, right?
No. Formally, like we associate like those who can access and delve deep into a research paper, they need to be sort of formally educated. So like that makes it difficult for people who are not like normal people who are like they find it difficult to access these research papers.
Please pardon your question. I think there's a misunderstanding. Yeah.
I was saying that research papers are really technical and really complex, right?
Okay.
So they're usually directed to a really niche group of people who are formally educated, who belong to an institution. Like we can access it, we can decipher it, we can decode it, right? So if let's say if I were to write a research paper that is intended to trigger sort of political consciousness, or it's anti-establishment, or it's for general public, so it would be really difficult to decode for the majority by the virtue of it being really complex, right? So I wanted to ask that who should our research paper be directed at? So how we as researchers tackle the problem to make our articulation more impactful for let's say the general public, instead of a small group of people who've got the tools, who've got the intellectual and educational tools to access a research paper.
Okay, so basically you're asking me how to frame a research paper so that everybody could understand it, be readable by all, right?
Yeah, largely, and also that the nature of a research paper is such that it's really it's not accessible for the majority of people. If you're not so intellectually and so educationally sound, that's what I'm saying. So research paper have that niche category.
I got it again. See, the basic thing about any skill is that it can get better by practice. First of all, I would like to mention, and whether it's research or even learning to write a paper, each of these skills could be acquired and could be perfected. But first, you need to have the right mindset for writing a research paper. You're talking about a research paper that could be easily understandable by everybody. So, and in fact, first of all, you need to know how to write a research paper. Then you need to delve into the topic that whether everybody would be able to understand or not. First, you need to know whether you know also to write a research paper or not, right? Because you are sharing some knowledge. That knowledge should have base. So first of all, you need to know how you should write a research paper. As I discussed earlier, that how you should decide your research topic, that brainstorming and all, take that also into consideration. And again, what you could do, that start broadly. Obtain 2 to 3 recently published papers, review them, and that is the best way to get to a topic. That would be, in fact, a quick handle to the issues of the area, a quick review to the issue that you might come up with. And one more important topic is try using a mind map. Anyone who has heard the term mind map on this platform?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you've heard the term mind map? Very good. I personally use this thing, mind map. It makes us more creative. What you need to do, for those who don't know, take a blank sheet of paper. Take a blank sheet of paper, write your topic in the center of the page, and give 10 minutes time. Let your ideas flow. Let your ideas flow. Whatever comes across your mind, just jot it down on the paper. Whatever ideas come. Again, after 10 minutes, for 10 minutes, let this thing happen. Write your main topic, the thing that you're thinking about, on a blank sheet of paper. Allow ideas to flow for 10 minutes. Anything, that could be anything. Then again, after 10 minutes, you will see that those ideas are surrounding your main topic, and that will be your subtopic. Look at the relation between the subtopics you choose, and that will again help you to come up with new ideas. So do this mind map. This is really helpful, and this will help you to be more creative in your research. And of course, you need to narrow your focus. While you're doing a research, you need to narrow your focus, and the best way to stay focused during your research is to have a well-researched question. Because each of your strategy, it stems from a research question. The most important thing is to be clear about the question, what you want to answer. What is your inquisitiveness? What is your curiosity? What drives you to do this research? Otherwise, it's too easy to follow myriad interesting ideas and risk your feeling overwhelming by too much of information. You need to be specific about that question, that curiosity. And of course, create a search strategy also. If you're doing a Google survey, Google search on a few ideas, then you should be very specific. Those keywords should be very specific, what you are looking for. That should be clear in your mind also, in your research also. And if you don't get it at once, what you want to research, don't worry. Just draw the first outline. It's not like setting the stone in the first thing also. So you can alter it, you can delve deeper, you can review more papers, more literatures. Again, you can find out that what will be your aim of research, what will be your research question. And also to stay focused, use the Pomodoro technique. Have you heard of Pomodoro? Yes, anyone?
Yes, ma'am. It's where you take 15 minutes break after studying.
5 minutes break, not 15 minutes break. Take a 5-minute break every 25 minutes. And that 5 minutes break, once you take, that is known as one Pomodoro. Right? And you can repeat this up to 4 times and take a longer break. This will help to refresh your mind. Again, you can sit back to study with the same flow. Okay, tell me who coined the term Pomodoro technique? Who designed it? Don't Google it now. Don't Google
it. Was someone named Pomodoro only, I guess. He named it inspired from a tomato, right?
It was designed by Franciso Cirillo. This is quite a good technique. You know, we can implement it in our regular studies also, not only in research. As a student, even I, used it during my entire student life. And we need to stay focused. And you ask me how to stay focused in this world, in this social media world. You need to cut off distractions. Distractions are the bane of focusing. If you can't resist checking that notification, It's a major distraction, and it will pull you away. It will literally slow you down. So that small distraction, you'll feel like, let me just scroll the notification, and you won't know from when 5 minutes it will take 1 hour. Again, after 1 hour, you'll be checking your phone. It was like, my goodness. So small distractions, it has been proved that on an average, research has proved that on an average, it takes 23 minutes to refocus on your work once interrupted. So you need to avoid those distractions. You need to declutter your workspace. You need to close your phone while you are working, or put it on silent mode. Or if you can't put it on silent mode, there are a lot of apps like Forest is there, Freedom is there, which can block few websites for periods of time while you're working. So, and of course, one more thing I would like to add up, that choose your most productive time to work. Personally, I'm a morning person. I feel quite relaxed, quite calm during morning. So I choose to do all my research work in the morning. You must be well aware. Everybody would be well aware of their own personal timing, that when they feel focused. We usually don't have the same level of productivity throughout the day. So that particular time frame, when you're able to focus, in that time frame only.
Yeah, we have some more questions. So, I would like to call Akansha. You can go next.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for this enlightening, insightful session, ma'am. Actually, I wanted to ask that, according to you, what are the most promising areas of research? Like, as a young researcher, like what are the most promising areas?
Most promising areas, or so that totally depends upon you. I have discussed it before also, like when I was discussing the scope of the research, like fields when I have cited, that totally depends upon you. If you are into geography, if you're into geology, whether you're into political science, whether you're into economics, that totally depends upon you. Whether climate interests you, or women's studies is your interest area, or education is your interest area, or like whichever aspect that interests you, that totally is an individual choice, my dear. Right? You whatever is the keyword, read research papers related to that, and how you'll delve into knowledge, that will make you identify your research area. Again, you can take up that broader perspective into research. Right? So that's totally an individual choice.
Yeah, got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Marina, you can go.
Thank you, Sakshi. Madam, you have very well broken down all the topics, all the steps one by one, and made researching look so easy. But I'm sure researching in India has its own challenges and issues. So what do you, from your experience, have found the challenges and issues of researchers in India in particular, and what advice would you give for the young research scholar aspirants?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course, taking up research in itself has been very challenging. First thing, you need to have is deciding a research topic. That has, that is quite, you need to give it a thought. You need to give it regular thoughts. Again, decide that. Then again, when you enroll into university, the title approval is really, that is also a time taking process. So many titles you will propose, again it will be rejected. That is a thing. Then again, questionnaire thing. Questions can be if they are from if that depends, whom you're asking those questions. That depends whether they are voluntarily ready to answer your questions, or they are lingering it. They don't want to answer. You'll know what kind of respondent you are having. And while I was doing research, I have interviewed so many government officials, so many government school teachers, so many principals, and everybody, so many NGOs, have interviewed everyone. And I have received different types of response from each strata of the society. I should not say on this platform, but yeah, the picture was quite dismissal for a few. So you need to stay focused and stay motivated during that time. When you're not expecting that person in that designation will give you such a response. So that will be quite disheartening. So you need to stay strong during that time. So that data collection part, that survey part, that is quite challenging, and of course, research methodology, deciding which methodology, which problem, which population, which sample size. And there's a lot of scientific training that is also involved in those methodology and research. So, and this should not be the thing that your guide is not of that area, that specific area. Else that would be, a blind leading a blind. So you need to see the interest area of your guide also, while you're deciding your research topic. And don't expect your guide is your mentor, not a babysitter. Remember this thing very, that should be clear in your mind. You should expect guidance only from your guide. They will not do your research, they will not write your research. You have to do the research yourself. So expect the minimum. Yeah, do everything whatever comes your way, but don't totally be dependent. Just be dependent for the guidance. Keep this thing in mind while you're thinking for research. And of course, proper training. If you have the possibility, go for a refresher course or proper training regarding those data analysis and all. If you're from art stream, that would be quite helpful, quite beneficial for you, for making you aware of all those statistical parts and all, because that will be used in your research if you want your research to be updated. So these are the things that I've come across. Yeah, of course, I've overcome on my way.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much for being so honest and transparent with your answer. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for your such wonderful and inspiration answers. Thanks for highlighting the points on how to write a research paper and how to, how can people be, feasible for how they can be feasible to, read the research paper and, what's important to write a research paper. So thanks for highlighting that. So here we can, here we are at the end of the session. So I would like to call upon Srijita. She's the editorial team member, to give vote of thanks. Over to you, Srijita.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Once again, so as all good things come to an end, so is the seminar. On behalf of everyone present here from Sarkari School, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to Kanak ma'am, who gave us time despite her busy schedule. The session was very interesting as we got to know so many things about research world, how to handle primary survey, how to handle secondary survey, and how to choose our topics and mind gap, mind map, Pomodoro technique and everything. It was very insightful. And so with these words, we move to the end of the session. Thank you so much, Kanak ma'am. You helped me a lot personally.
All mine, my dear. Interacting with these young minds. The pleasure is all mine.
So
ma'am, we quickly wanted to get your feedback. So like how you felt about this session and how was your experience interacting with all of us?
It was obviously, it was good interacting with you guys. It was really good. And you created such platform. This would be beneficial for all aspiring scholars. This is very good initiative from Sarkari School. I literally congratulations to you and your team for your meticulous effort and your tactful execution of this entire thing. Very good. Kudos to your team.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Most welcome. Beyond this workshop, okay. Marina will tell you. Thank you so much, everyone.